Hello, wrestling fans. This is Kenny Cummins here of Chilling with Kenny C right here on TMVCafe.com, bringing you entertainment to your ears. And you know what? I like to declare this Hooligan Championship Wrestling Week. I'm a proud sponsor of Ascending the Queen 2, which is the big women's event coming on May the 10th. This lady, my guess, will be one of 35 women that will be a part of the festivities. She comes to you all the way from Michigan. She's been making a name for herself in that area. She's worked for numerous promotions in the Midwest as well. And no matter the occasion, the city, the promotion, you should always bet on blue.
You know
I'm
it.
happy to be joined with Heartless Heather Blue. How's it going?
Hello, how is it going? I am so stoked to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm glad to have you on for HCW Week. We'll
Absolutely.
definitely talk about your upcoming appearance a little bit later on,
For
but
sure.
first things first. To tell the people a little bit about yourself for those that's just hearing you for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, my name is Heartless Heather Blue. I reside in Michigan. I've been on the wrestling scene now for about 3 years. Currently hold three titles here in Michigan, so that's pretty cool. Um, I was kind of late to the game as in terms of wrestling. I didn't really get into it until I was like 16, 17. I know a lot of people that get into it have been into it since they were kids and I like to consider myself a late bloomer on that. But once I found it and I really fell in love with it and then of course, transitioning into becoming a wrestler was, the next step after that. Honestly, if you would have asked me, 5 years ago, is this what you would be doing? I would have said no, there's no way. But I'm here and it's been great so far.
Well, that's great to hear. It seems like with wrestling, it don't matter if it happened at a young age or in your teens. It's kind of like a bug. It gets to you eventually.
It really is.
Uh,
It's
so
way around.
a lot of adrenaline that comes along with it. And so yeah, I've been watching your work
Thank you.
literally since it was announced that you're going to be in Evansville.
Heck yeah.
I'm like, ooh, man, they getting wrestlers from all over the country. Seems like,
Yeah. When I got the invite, I was like, because I had seen the first, I don't know, however many women that were announced for it, and I was like, oh, like I want to keep my eye on this show. And then I got an invite to be on it, and I was like, yes. Like Hooligan Championship Wrestling, I've kind of been keeping my eye on for a little bit now. So I'm happy that I finally get to be a part of it, this show nonetheless. Like yeah, like you said, 35 women, and it's just I love women's wrestling. I love wrestling in general, but like where women's wrestling is heading in the future, like I love it. I love to see it.
I love to see it as well. I've been watching them since the very beginning. I got to chat with Mr. Schaffner,
Hmm.
Mr. Stevens, and Mr. Henderson. Very fond gentlemen. Um, and I'm proud to say that I go to these shows. It's one of the rare times that I travel a lot farther than what I'm accustomed to.
Hmm.
But anything for those guys, and if I'm able to, and
Oh yeah,
I'm there. They introduce, and I guess the beauty of this is that it's introducing me to a lot of people that I may not have known of beforehand.
absolutely.
It's like I love wrestling in general because it's like an adventure,
Yeah.
especially independent wrestling, because
Hmm.
you're always trying to find like who's someone to keep an eye, who's that next star, who's someone that's on the cusp of per se.
Oh yes.
So when I saw Heartless Heather Blue, I like the hair first and foremost,
Thank you. Thank you.
and then I saw your work. I'm like, she's heartless as it gets. She's with heartless with
We try.
weapons.
We
She
really
she
try to live up to the name.
yeah. So let me ask you this. What led to the Heartless? What was it? Was it a match? Was it a promotion? Was it an opponent? What led to you being quote unquote heartless?
It's a good question. So, when I first debuted, I'll give you a little bit of lore here. When I first debuted, I debuted under the name Relentless Heather Blue, and I don't really know why I chose that to begin with. It sounded good, so I rolled with it for a while, and just I think as I evolved and as I got more comfortable with myself and I got more comfortable finding like my style in the ring and my like not just wrestling style but like my physical style and like everything else, it kind of just warped into this like I needed an evolution of some kind. So, funny enough, a promoter down here actually gave me the name Heartless Heather Blue. And they said, "Hey, I know that this isn't your usual moniker, but I have an idea for this, and can you just run with this for like this one show that you're on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll run with it." And at first, I wasn't sure because I was like, "Oh, like this isn't what I chose for myself," but it actually ended up being like the perfect turning point and stepping stone that I needed to kind of really like dive into who you see today, of course. So I took it, I ran with it, and I really just built up the character that I was portraying around the name, I guess, and it just kind of all clicked together at some point.
What I love about that in particular is that the promoter, because we know how, you've had your experience with, like any other wrestler, good promoters,
Hmm.
shady promoters, but that person in particular got into a conversation trying to see what direction you want to go with your character, and
Yeah,
fast and and things worked out well.
they really did. They just kind of skyrocketed from there, and
Yeah.
I'll never be able to be thankful enough for the hidden blessing there on that. So.
So, as we pointed out, you currently reside in Michigan, and you are have currently have three championships there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a little bit about Michigan.
Hmm.
Gonna be sports, some Ford, obviously.
Yep.
So from an outsider like myself, that's curious. How would you describe the indie wrestling scene out there in Michigan?
Let's see. What would be a good word for it? Of course, with my bias involved, I would say home because obviously it's my home, state, and I've grown to get all of my relationships that I've developed through wrestling in this scene have been so detrimental to who I am as a person, like in and out of the ring. I met my boyfriend through wrestling and a lot of my closest friends through wrestling. So, but I guess the scene itself, to describe it with one word, I would say chaotic. It it can be a lot. A lot of the promotions that I go to, a lot of them are in not the exact same area of the state, but we do have some here, some there, whatever. But the vast majority of all the ones that I occupy are within 40, 50 miles of one another usually. So it can be busy weekends, I guess. You got one, two, three shows a weekend, and you're kind of going in the same you know 40 miles or give or take, but it's all worth it when once it's all said and done, of course. And.
I definitely agree with that. Definitely sums up, Michigan scene.
Mhm.
Michigan, that's some chaotic people up there. Like,
Yep.
obviously, my favorite wrestler out from there is, I think you're very familiar with this lady, Allison Kay.
Yes,
She's from Detroit originally. I've met
absolutely.
her numerous times.
Hmm.
She's a fantastic person.
Yes, dude,
And
I've met her two or three times when she's come down here, and it's been great. But I've yet to have a match with her. I've had a match with Marty Bell, and that was great. I love Marty; she's super sweet too. But I have yet, like, that's a person that is on my list that I'm like, somebody please book this. This is all I want.
Hey, all the promoters out there in Michigan, y'all know what to do. That's your
Yeah.
assignment. That's your assignment. I know we're just getting through spring break for some folks, but still work needs to be done. You
Yeah.
heard from Heather. She wants
Please.
Allison K
Yes.
101, regardless of the promotion, city,
Anywhere, anytime. Let's do it.
anywhere. So yeah, she's up for it. Now you have three championships currently, and that's impressive.
Thank you.
Definitely young in your career.
For sure.
Um, and with being a champion comes a lot of responsibilities,
Yes,
obviously.
for sure.
I mean, how do you feel being a being current three championships in your currently in your home state? How does that make you feel?
It is so it's the way it's endearing, I guess. I'm a little mushy on the inside sometimes about it, but my hard heartless exterior, but it's really cool. So the three I have, and we can dive more into this in a little bit, but two out of the three of them I am currently the first and only woman to have their inaugural championships. Um and then one that I have has a lot of really cool history behind it. So that title, the first champion to hold that is Jody Threat. And that is super cool to me. She's also a woman on my roster that I have been wanting to wrestle for a good long time now. We've crossed paths a couple times at shows, but once again, promoters, if you're out there listening, Heather Blue versus Jody Threat, please, anywhere, anytime.
Ooh, there we go. Threat versus Heartless. What could go wrong?
Yeah, right.
What
But
could
yeah,
go
it's
wrong?
it's very sweet to be trusted to be the face of these promotions, in your home state, and to, like I said, two out of the three of them, I'm the only woman to ever hold them so far because they're brand new. So that's super cool. I'm the first person that somebody thought of to represent their women's division on their show, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Y'all check out Heartless Heather Blue in the Michigan area. She's definitely she's the next generation. Let's just put it out there. She's
Thank
the next generation, not just Michigan wrestling, but just wrestling in general. And I look forward to seeing it firsthand on May the 10th, ascending the Queendom to Evansville, Indiana. This will go down as the biggest women's wrestling event in Indiana history. Those are those words. Those are their words, not mine, and I will take their word for it. I mean,
Absolutely.
they got women from all over the country.
Yeah.
They they are still young promotion. This is like their fifth show that they've done, and they going all out.
Oh, all out.
So all out. So this is what women wrestlers definitely would like to see. Like
Absolutely.
shows like this is ain't just some regular weekly show. This is a super show. Let's just call it like it is. It
Yeah.
is a super show, and we're in 2025. Women wrestling continues to thrive year after year after year. There's no excuse for promoters to shortchange the woman that they put in these shows. You know,
Yeah.
the talent is there.
It
Go
is.
go get them and give them the ball and let them run with it. That's a
Yep.
football analogy there.
Yep. Represent.
Um,
That's all we need.
Yeah. So let's dive into your debut for ACW. And there's a multitude of matches.
Absolutely.
There's single matches, there's fatal four ways, there's championship matches. And then there's a match that you are on. It is actually a 8-woman tag.
Yes.
And this is gonna be interesting. All pretty much all y'all are seeing each other for the
Yep.
first time. So you will be representing, well, actually, you are with the team of Noelle Summit.
Hmm.
She's. I just want to point out she's very scary. So yeah,
Hey, glad we're on the same team and not standing across from each other. That's all I'll say.
So then you have Alice Crowley out of Indiana, very,
Mhm.
very talented. Then
Yes.
a up and comer, Dixie Douglas, also an Indiana girl. So y'all got the talent there. Y'all got, the mash out mentality.
Yep.
So that's gonna be fun. And then your opponents,
Hmm.
Big Mama, who's
Yep.
the NWA double champion right now.
Hmm.
Carter Kaufman, another Indiana girl.
Yep.
Davina Thorne out of Chicago and Riley Matthews out of Cincinnati.
Yes.
So, what's your mindset going into a match like this when this is literally the first time you all get to see each other? How do you prepare for something like this?
So, good news is Carter Kaufman and I are familiar with one another. We've had a couple matches here and there, so
Mhm.
I know some of her stuff, so we're pretty good there. Riley Matthews has been somebody that I have been dying to work with for the better part of, I want to say, 2 years out of the three that I've been working. And so finally getting an opportunity to be in a ring with her is super cool. Big Mama's been someone that's been on my list of people I've been watching and wanting to work with one day. So super cool that that gets to be checked off. Davina Thorne, I've been seeing some of her stuff, and I couldn't put it any better than what they've given us, to be honest. Big Al. Funny enough, we're actually going to be wrestling each other. I'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Before this in April, so that'll be fun being across the ring from one another and then being teammates. Um, yeah, so just like everybody that's on my team, everyone that's on the opposing team, whether I know them or not, whether we're familiar with each other's work or not, I have my methods of multi women matches and how I kind of view them, I guess you could say. But Noelle Summit being the team leader, I'm gonna let her, I'm gonna let her take lead. I'm not shy when it comes to putting my 2 cents into things, especially when it comes to wrestling. But yeah, like I'm gonna let her take lead. We'll come up with a little game plan and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I've crossed paths with Noelle on a few occasions. She's very, you know, unique person.
For sure.
Um, and that's putting it politely. like like she's got something up here mentally that, you know, being in a team, whether you know each other or you're not,
Hmm.
you gotta be on the same page, obviously.
Yep.
So hopefully Noel,
Yeah.
you,
Fingers.
Dixie, Al can just y'all don't have to exchange cards or anything. You don't have to exchange birthday gifts. It's just one night.
We just got to get along for
Yeah,
time we're out there for. That's it.
yeah, pretty much. So that is at Hooligan Championship Wrestling, Ascending the Kingdom 2, Evansville, Indiana. There's still some second row tickets left, and it's just a few months away. First row seats are already gone.
Yeah, get them while
Right?
you can.
Yeah,
Come on.
get them. And not only that, I also want to bring up they're doing sponsorships for each wrestler. So your brand, your business, your company,
Yep.
non-profit organization, whatever your business is, you want to hear that you want to hear the ring announcers say your company's name while the wrestlers do their entrances.
Yeah,
Uh, that's if you want that brand awareness, get in touch with Hooligan Championship Wrestling. Heather is one of the remaining women
I
that's
am.
available for sponsorship.
I
So
like to think I'm pretty cool, and if you think I'm cool too, you can bet on blue and sponsor me, no big deal. My entrances are also pretty cool, so you want to be a part of that. Just saying.
yeah,
Community.
yeah. I mean, look at her, people. Look. She is presentable. She is talented. She's a hard worker, and she's ready. She's ready for your services for one night. Like
Let's do it.
let's make it happen. So, so let's talk about what you have ahead. Obviously, leading up to May the 10th. What was you mentioned some shows already?
Yep.
So what's your schedule looks like for the next few weeks or
Yeah.
so?
So, next one coming up is pretty cool. So, I am in a tag match here in Michigan with my boyfriend Max. So, we are Michigan's Most Wanted, and we are in a tag match against the DBA and the baddest broad in the business, Randy West. Both of them are legendary, especially around here. They are the heart and soul of Detroit wrestling, and that'll be at XICW in Clinton Township, Michigan on April the 5th. So we've kind of been going back and forth with each other these last couple shows. So it'll be fun to kind of, get all four of us in there and doing some stuff. And then after that, we have April the 12th. That is the match I was referencing earlier. So that is Divine Women's Wrestling. I am their Divine Champion, and that is the title I was talking about earlier that Jody Threat was the original champion for. So yeah, the Divine title has a lot of really cool history behind it, and to be the reigning defending champion for the several months now at this point. Last September, maybe. God, I'm terrible with dates. I beat Stella Buho for that title, and so that match on April 12th will be a triple threat between myself, the main topic Storm Garcon, and Big Al. So that will be in Ann Arbor, Michigan, April 12th. Be a good one to look out for. And then, yeah, right after that, I may have a couple more sprinkled in that I can't really talk about right now. But between there and then leading up to May the 10th, Hooligan Championship Wrestling, that is probably my biggest show I have currently coming up for me. So get your tickets while they're still here. Come see me wrestle. It's a good time. I promise you.
Yeah. So check out Heartless Heather Blue out there in Michigan. Very promising future. I
Thank you.
mean, she's got the championships, she's got the respect, she's got the mentality, she's got what it takes to succeed in this business, and go see her for herself. I mean, go see what was all the chatter about. I'm excited to see you and to see you thrive even more. I look forward to the chaos that is about to take place.
Oh, yeah,
And it is a good time to be a wrestling fan.
it really is.
And yes, and as I like to say, support independent wrestling, support the indie talents. A
Yes.
lot of hard. I know we're getting to April in particular. A certain big event is coming up on that particular month. I know a lot of us are glued to it. But while you look forward to that, go check out an indie show in your neck of the woods and show these ladies and gentlemen your support. I'm excited to for this show ACW Ascending the Queen 2. I mean, I'm still mind blown
Yeah.
of getting 35 women from all over the country.
Yeah.
And some of y'all already know each other to begin with. And now if it's going to feel, my goodness, it's going to be something to behold.
Yes.
So I'm going to be second row. Shame on me for being late on the first row, but you know, sometimes that's what happens this is what happens when you underestimate the power of wrestling. Because the fans want deep in Evansville. They're a passionate fan base. And I know, and I feel like you'll know that firsthand on May the 10th.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
it's something. But thank you so much, Heather, for your
Absolutely.
time. Hope all is well with you, and props to you on everything.
Thank you so much.
You've had an incredible career. Sky's the limit for you, and
Absolutely.
I look forward to meeting you now on May the 10th. It's going to be a special night for them and for everyone involved. So,
Absolutely. It's going to be
um,
life changing
yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a night to remember.
for
This is
sure.
going to be a historic night for that
Yes.
promotion and for the city of Evansville, which has a storied history of wrestling to begin with. So,
Absolutely.
by the way, I am going to cross paths with some of the people that you will be in that match with. I saw
Mhm.
Dixie this past weekend.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to see Heather, not. I'm going to see Mama and Riley a week from this Saturday at their home promotion. So I
All
tell
right.
them that Heartless Heather Blue's coming for me.
Yep, I'm
I'm,
coming.
I will give them the message. I'm pretty sure they will receive it very
Appreciate that.
well. I just hope I don't get my head kicked in.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
see, right? We'll
but,
see.
all I could do is bring the message. I won't can't shoot the messenger, I guess.
Exactly, right?
You enjoy your day. You enjoy your week. Thanks again, Heather, and I'll
Thank
see you
you.
May 10th.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a good night.
You too.
Bye bye. All right.